Hey y'all, it is me, Jocelyn Elise, that mindset teacher, encouraging you to change your thoughts so that we can change the world. Listen, friend, today we are going to be talking about 6 EdTech tools that I will be taking from 2020 and continuing to use in the future. Many of us know that 2020 was the year of pandemic teaching. So this was the year that so many educators either had to take on a full remote or hybrid model of teaching where we were having to heavily rely on using technology to connect with our scholars. And while there were a lot of challenges and a lot of difficulties throughout this year, there were also some tools and some things that we use that I definitely feel like I will continue using to promote learning in my classroom. So EdTech tool number 1 is Classroom Screen. You guys, I love using Classroom Screen because before I discovered this tool, I would literally try to create a Google slide for each day and moving and putting different things into the slide, and it would just take so much time for me to put together my morning meeting slides. Where Classroom Screen, I could just really quickly put something up for the students. It looks cute, it's aesthetic, and then it's also doing exactly what I wanted to do. So here are just a few things that you can do with Classroom Screen. You guys see I changed the background. I added the date and the time, a timer. I love how you can add in a student list and randomly select student names. There are so many tools. I love how you can also embed YouTube videos so it is right there on the screen. You can also do this with different slides. You can add in a text box so students see a special message just from you. There are so many different tools and different combinations that you could put together using this resource with little effort. So absolutely love it. The second EdTech tool that I used during 2021 while I was teaching remotely that I will bring back into the classroom with me is digital interactive notebooks. You guys, this was definitely a game changer for me and how I was running my classroom digitally. And I feel like I can definitely use this even when I have students in person with me. I use this a lot when we were doing different writing projects. So they had one for different writing genres. There was one when we did our animal research and we were writing an informational piece about an animal. Literally every paragraph was planned out. I had model paragraphs and resources that they could refer to as they were doing this writing project. And then students could also use those stickers to help them. So I feel like digital interactive notebooks are a game changer. You guys, I found the template that I use for this on Teachers Pay Teachers. I cannot find this anymore. I don't know who the seller was. I looked through my purchases and I could not find this specific journal. So I don't know if whoever did create this took it off of TPT, but there are so many different interactive notebook templates out there. Reading response journals. There are so many that are focused on like different styles of writing. And if you go to Ditch That Textbook, they have so many cute templates that you could find, and even Slides Mania and Slides Go have some different journal-like templates that you could use with your students. Number 3 is Bitmoji Resource Classrooms. If you watched my Plan With Me video, you watched me kind of use a template from LPJ Creations to create a classroom that held, or a Bitmoji classroom that held different resources for my students. I absolutely love this. The more independent my students can be, the more that they rely on themselves and less on me. I feel like I am definitely preparing them for 5th grade, for middle school, for life in general.
So here's an example of a Bitmoji resource room that I previously created. This one is all about responding to inequality. So when the students click on the guiding questions, they can respond to them reflecting on a Google Jamboard. I absolutely love that. They also have a vocabulary log here, as well as an epic collection with books focused on that topic. They also have their Our Readings and Writing section where we house a lot of the things that we come back to.
So I love using this. I love the independence that it gives to students. I love how it allows us to share work, to really just have everything together. So it really just gives students like this total ownership where they can completely manipulate those resources and do that research and put those things together themselves. The next EdTech tool that I will be taking with me from 2020 is Blookit, y'all. Blookit is so much fun. There are so many different tutorials out there on Blookit. I absolutely love Blookit, y'all. It is kind of like Kahoot, but better. So it has different gaming modes that you can choose to play with your students. You can also choose, just like with Kahoot, you can create your own quiz, or there are a plethora of quizzes there. I know towards the end of the school year, I literally searched 4th grade reading and different quizzes came up, and even some of them had like a really short paragraph and they'll be like, what's the main idea of this paragraph, or what point of view is this passage written in, or what is the author's purpose. And so students were able to practice like those power standards that we go through in this game-based program. So definitely going to continue to use Blookit. It was definitely a student favorite, and for me, it was a favorite because it got them engaged and they were able to practice the skills that I wanted them to practice. The next EdTech tool that I will continue to use is Padlet. Y'all, Padlet was so useful for me. And I feel like Padlet helped me to run my Zoom classroom a lot smoother, and I'm definitely going to transfer those things into my class. So if you don't know, Padlet is basically like a collaborative board. It reminds me of Jamboard, how a lot of people use Jamboard for students to do like these quick jot types of things. Basically, I would have students tell me how they wanted to work that day. So I would drop the Padlet link in the chat, or I would link it to my Canvas course for students, and then they would come in that day and they would literally fill out the Padlet to tell me how they want it to work. And then I would group students accordingly as we were going through our learning for that day. And so instead of me like going into Zoom and saying, oh, how do you guys want to work, and trying to figure it out and not giving students that choice, I could literally use the Padlet and start getting those Zoom rooms together throughout the learning so students are not waiting for me to put them in breakout rooms. I feel like this could definitely be useful inside the classroom as well, because students can do like that quick type of survey. This could also be a good place to put different resources, or even to allow students to do kind of like an exit ticket or an entrance ticket as you guys are learning about different resources. So I feel like Padlet is definitely a great tool, and it is a tool that I plan to continue using. The next EdTech tool that we will be talking about that I will be taking from 2020 is online libraries. You guys, I have been using online libraries like Epic and Sora before 2020, but this year we really heavily relied on them. And when I say I am carrying these things into my future as a teacher, I don't mean I will never put a physical book in front of my students again. That is not what I mean, but I love allowing students to have that choice. So if there was like a book that I don't have, being able to refer them to Epic or to refer them to Sora or being able to locate that book digitally for students, I feel like opens up a world of opportunity, and there is not one reason why any student does not have a book that they love. The last EdTech tool that I'm going to mention for you guys is a little controversial, and I know a lot of people hate it, but one tool that I will be carrying into my future as a teacher and into my classroom from 2020 is Canvas. You guys, I know. Canvas, especially for elementary teachers and teachers that have never had to use this before and were just thrown into it. In March, we were just told everybody has to use Canvas, and it was messy, and it was a lot for us to learn, a lot for our students to learn, especially as our students were going through a really trying time. And we were experiencing things that we had never had to experience during our lifetime. But once I learned to use Canvas and I learned a way that it worked for me and my students, I see the merit. You guys, I literally ran my Canvas like a website. And I love how everything is linkable. I love how I can put students' assignments, just links dropped there so students can really quickly get to whatever it is that I need to get to, whatever I need them to get to. And aesthetically, now Google Classroom is simple, right? But I feel like aesthetically, I can't get Google Classroom to look the way that I could get my Canvas to look while still kind of functioning in similar ways. Now, I will say that there is one huge downside, especially as an ELA teacher for Canvas, and that is that you cannot see students' work until they submit it, and they have to submit it every time they make a change for you to be able to see that. Whereas in Google Classroom, we have that living Google Doc that we can see. So it's very easy for me as a writing teacher to jump into students' writing to help them. But in Canvas, I'm not really able to do that. That is literally the only downside and the only reason that I feel I would go back to Google Classroom to be able to have that easy manipulation and visibility of student work. But other than that, aesthetically, being able to like see and post the assignments, literally linking them, creating buttons, making it into like our own class website. I absolutely love those features of Canvas. And my students, because they have now had this experience, have a lot of familiarity with Canvas as well. And it's a platform that I feel is popular in education, especially higher education. So as students move forward, if I give them these meaningful experiences with Canvas, hopefully when they get to college or they go to a university, they'll really be able to manipulate those types of platforms. So friends, those are just a few EdTech tools that I will be carrying from 2020 into my future as a teacher. Y'all comment down below, what are some tools that you use this year that you have used even throughout just your teaching journey that you feel helps you to facilitate learning and community and engagement in your classrooms? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.